First frame, Chris Totten to break. Time running. Yellow ball's in play.
So here we are with this winners round 2 game between Scotland and Australia. Chris Totten representing Scotland, Jake McCartney representing Australia. There was a poll put out last night and people have been voting overnight. All the Australians have been getting involved and this was the match that won the poll, which isn't much of a surprise really, because I think we're all intrigued to see the young Scotsman play, and also Jake has a lot of fans. But goodness me, when you have a session of pool and there's a game between Ronan McCarthy and Phil Harrison, it doesn't get on stream when there's 4 stream tables. That kind of says it all about the session. I mean, it is just littered with great games. Gaz Hibbert and Craig Waddingham playing each other, not on stream. I mean, that's another main arena match. You could have picked one of about 10. John McAllister, Jordan Shepherd, also just getting underway. In fact, McAllister has just taken the first frame in that one. Talking about the Gaz Hibbert, Craig Waddingham game there at 1 apiece. Sean Story playing Adam Davis. 1-0 to Story. Johan Attard playing Rob Warren, 1-0 to Johan. Chris Melling, 1-0 against Jimmy Croxton. Ben Flax taking the first frame against Neil Raybone. And that updates us. Oh, Tom Cousins has just taken the first frame against Mark Asprey, and Callum Singleton has taken the first one against Sean Chipperfield, and finally Phil Harris has won the first frame against Ronan McCarthy. So that gets us bang up to date with all the games in the arena, and we turn our attention to this one. Chris Totten, probably fairly unknown to many of you, but he's the man that knocked out Declan Brennan yesterday and knocked him out in some fine style as well. He was 7-0 up on Declan Brennan, ended up winning 11-7. He's a young 22-year-old Scotsman He's a snooker player, primarily. Used to be on the tour. And some player as well. So that was turning into a pretty tricky clearance from Jake McCartney, and we see this young Scotsman. He's pretty quick around the table, that's for sure. Oh, made extremely short work of those. You can see the scores in the other 15 games that are currently in play. Jordan Shepherd 2-0 down against John McAllister. Phil Harrison, Ronan McCarthy, two old campaigners of the game there. Years of experience between them, one apiece.
Frame number 2, Jake McCartney to break, trading 1 frame to 0. Time running.
Oh, cue ball. Oh, thought the yellow was going to come down on top of it and just nudge it in. It just missed. Any kind of contact and the cue ball was in the pocket. And it was curtains. As it is, it's not particularly attractive. It's got one horrible red as an opener. And the yellow at the top of the table that's near the top right pocket. I think he can cut that in. If he can, he should be okay. Yeah, he could. It's okay, should be fine now. It was all about the opening shot. Once he gets that, it's a fairly decent roadmap actually. Jake the Head McCartney. We had some wonderful photos of Jake in some of the earlier events when he was younger. The great big haircuts that he used to sport. Something else. He's flown over from Australia for every one of these events. Some trip to make. That's real dedication, and so dedicated to this event that he's had one of these Supreme winner tables exported to Australia, shipped over, and set it up at his home in his pool room. Oh, that's a dangerous shot. That really is. I mean, that's just unforgivable. I know he had to nick a bit to make sure he got past the red, but look at the margin of error he's got. He could have just taken his medicine there and just stunned into the red, stunned into the side of the red and played the yellow long. I mean, look at that margin of errors. There's 3 feet of table to play into. I mean, that's just trying to make sure that you get closer to your work when you just really don't need to be. That yellow he can pot from anywhere on the table virtually. That really is, sorry, an unforgivable mistake for me. Not much in the way of attacking options here. Oh my God. Wow, I didn't even think that yellow would pass the red for a double. Did not expect that. What a great shot. And the black as well to finish it off. Well done. That really was top drawer. Did not expect him to find that one. Let's take another look. Look, the pocket looks like it's virtually covered. Okay, if you go rail first, then it's a fairly big pocket, but he's actually flicked the yellow and the ball's still gone in. You wouldn't think that was possible.
Third frame, Chris Totten to break. 1 frame more. Time running.
So Chris has turned a break and does so with success, makes a yellow, and red ball's now in play. So it's all about developing this one at the top of the table. Everything else is in the open. We should see him. We do see him go into it now. Probably didn't quite get the contact. I don't think he could have played it with a lot more pace, because he needed to put side on it, and the side wouldn't have taken with a lot more pace, so he's nudged it out. I think he was looking for a fuller ball contact just to push the red a bit further across, but it now does go to right corner, but the problem for me is getting on it. He doesn't want to leave it till his last ball, but he may be forced to. Well, this has suddenly become a little bit difficult. He can cut the one along the rail, but how does he get on the one at the top of the table? Can he just squeeze past the yellows? It's such a fine margin of error. Yeah, it's going to be the problem. Always seem to be running further and further into trouble. So you need to put just a touch more side on that ball, but then you bring that line of yellows into play. There wasn't much of a gap to play into. What's he seen here? He's obviously a confident, very attacking player. There wasn't much in the way of any safety options there, so he had to go for something. But it gives Jake another chance. Jake has played on this main arena table on a number of occasions now, probably at least once in each event. When the poll goes up, the Aussies tend to get busy overnight, and they're sharing it around Australia, and he's got good support. Oh wow, that's a miss he definitely shouldn't be making. So I was just about to say that he's going to be used to this arena and used to this table, whereas Chris, it's going to be the first time he's played on it. And we heard Scott Gillespie mention after the last match that this table does play very differently to the other tables. I think Craig Marsh mentioned it after the game as well. It's got the light stack above it, which creates warmth on the table, and it's fast and slick and skiddy. So I just wondered if that might be the difference between the two players. Oh dear me. The only thing I can assume that he was trying to do there is play that with pace and topspin to reverse the cue ball off the top rail and make it stick at the top of the table. But it's clearly not worked. I can't believe for 1 second that he was trying to go around the table. Maybe he felt he couldn't hold it, but yeah, it's one of those kind of shots where I mentioned it yesterday on comms. If you play it with top and side, the cue ball hits the top rail, and then it kind of the spin catches it and holds it. And I think that's what he was trying to play. If he was, you need to play him with. Well, I think you need to play him with a bit more pace than he did, to be honest. So I can't believe for a second that he was trying to go all the way around the table and back down again. Anyway, whatever it was, it didn't work, and it's probably going to cost him the frame. I say this is a young man that was 7-0 up against Declan Brennan yesterday, so you know, don't write him off just yet. And as I say, Declan Declan's comment to me this morning was that he was lucky to have nil. Because the kid was playing out of his skin.
Free.
Shane Thompson's joined us for a quick stint on commentary in between while he's waiting for his next game to start against Adam Penwell. How you doing, Shane?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. So, have you ever seen anything of this young man, Chris Totten?
No, I haven't. No, obviously I've been hearing a few things around the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never actually seen him play. Like you said, obviously beat Declan quite heavy yesterday, didn't he? So
Yeah, that's obviously
must be about
a shock to a lot of people seeing a young man come in and you know, Declan obviously one of the pre-tournament favourites and gets a lot because has a lot of fans, a lot of support, especially over there in Ireland. And I think there were a few raised eyebrows at the scoreline.
Yeah, I think someone said he was a snooker player. I think.
Yeah, he's a snooker player on the tour, and he said Scott Gillespie was saying yesterday he was beating Neil Robinson when he was like 18 years old.
Jesus.
Let's take a quick look at some of the other scores from around the room. I think there's some interesting ones. Liam Dunster currently 3-0 up on Carboys. Greg Batten 2-1 against Jack Whelan. It was a good start for him. Neil Raybone 2-1 against Ben Flack. Chris Melling 4-1 against Jimmy Croxton. Ryan Clark.
I was watching that game just now, and Chris looked quite good, to be fair.
Yeah, he looked good yesterday. Ryan Clark 1 each against Mark Boyle. Johan Attard is 4-1 up against Rob Warren. Didn't expect that one, I must admit. I thought a long way to go, obviously, but thought Rob might have the edge over the Malteseman. Sean Story, Adam Davis 2 each. Gareth Hibbert 4-1 against Craig Waddingham. John McAllister now 5-1 against Jordan Shepherd.
5-1. I seen it 4-0, and
not looking good there for Sheppy. And he was saying to me yesterday that he often wins against John. He
probably cursed himself a little bit.
Yeah, fancied himself in that game, I think. Dylan Leary 2-1 up against Jez Graham. Ronan McCarthy 3-1 against Phil Harrison. And Callum Singleton 4-2 against Sean Chipperfield. Tom Cousins 4-1 against Mark Asprey. And Clint Ianson 2-1 against Brian Halcrow.
Tell you what, Nate, this has been a good finish here. Real solid.
Yep. He looks decent, doesn't he?
He looks very good. Yeah.
Got all the... he ticks all the boxes. Got great cue action.
Well, he would do, yeah, being a snooker player, he'd have all the good, decent fundamentals, wouldn't he? So.
frame. Chris Totten to break. 2 frames all. Time running.
Big break there.
Yeah,
It's not really come out great, but
no. I mean, given the choice, you'd favour reds, but
I don't think he's got a first red.
yeah, he's not really got an opener, has he? Unless he plays, he's got the kind of long plant to the top,
Yeah,
which
it's tough, but
is a bit ugly, isn't it? So he's gonna take yellows. Yeah, not good. It was it's one of those, like, going into it in that way, you could never really see it coming out that well because he had to land on that ball. And I think maybe possibly a little bit of pool inexperience trying to get into that ball at that point in the way he did.
yeah.
Like I say, you're putting all your eggs in one basket. If you don't land on that ball, then you're going to be on nothing.
Yeah, because obviously all the yellows are at the other end of the table as well,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
looks very confident, so I think oh my word.
But he's clearly gone for something like that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if he went off the two balls, but
yeah, he wasn't trying to go off two.
no.
But, definitely trying to go off one, but obviously a very attacking player. Yeah, he's trying to get this one off of one.
It's actually mental how that's gone off the second red.
Yeah. But he's still not got much in the way of options. Don't know if he can get through to the thin clip on the one at the top of the table. He's not even looking at that, so what's he going for here? A little safety shot.
Safety, yeah. It's not a bad shot, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that's decent.
I mean, Jake could just clip off this red by the corner bag and the white will travel down
Yeah.
below the
Run down table and
yeah,
push
behind the
us
white
back
line. So.
where he was. It's not a bad angle to try and get in behind these two reds, actually. Don't think he's got much else than a safety.
No, I think obviously Jake being an all-out ball player, he'll know that's all he's got.
All he has to be careful in doubling this red back. He doesn't want to push that yellow towards the pocket, so he's hit it nice and thin. And not a bad little kiss.
No, he's played it well. Not actually sure Chris has actually got a shot here. There's nothing he can leave safe.
The fine clip along the rail, but it's razor thin. Yeah, just
Yeah, it's not a bad poke, to be fair.
push it towards the pocket and just. Yeah, it's good. He's nudged one of his balls into a better position and left one of Jake's tied up. So
Yeah, I think it's one of them shots where you just said to Jake, yeah, have a go.
yeah.
I think he's called a foul on himself.
Called a foul.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed. He must have
fair play.
just touched the ball on the way through. Little tap on the table from Chris.
Yeah, fair play to Jake. So I didn't actually see what he did. He must have touched the yellow with his cue or something,
Yeah,
maybe.
pretty sure he just feathered it. So ball in hand anywhere on the table means he can just put this yellow down and leave himself an angle to nudge the other one out. But he doesn't need to nudge the other one out just to push the red aside. That opens up the table. And now it should be fairly plain sailing for a 3-2 lead. Is it 2 apiece now? Yeah.
I think he was trying to play like a sort of skill shot there.
Yeah, just
The yellow's landed a bit funny there. So.
yeah, it makes it a little bit more difficult to get on the black now, doesn't it? Because the black only goes to right centre, so...
If he lands straight here, he's alright. You'll screw into the red above the middle bag.
Yeah,
so,
leave
he's
himself.
got he's got no angle to get out, has he? So.
Yeah.
Oh, he has.
He could force it.
Is he on it? Yeah, he's on it. That's a great shot. He didn't look like he had any angle for that.
No. He's clearly got the Q power. Very nice. It's still on serve, 3 frames to 2 in favour of Chris Totten. Jake McCartney will break in frame number 6. Laters.
Jake McCartney to break. Trailing 3 frames to 2. Time running.
Didn't really time it particularly well. But, they have come out, left a little cluster around the pack area, which is going to make this clearance awkward. That's going to remove the rack, which frankly I don't really see the point of at this point. Whether he's just trying to buy himself a little more time or not, I don't know. I think if I was the referee, I'd just say, get on with it. The referee's not obliged to move it. It's certainly not like Jake is going to play a shot across it right now. So while the referees negotiate that, we just look at the arena. You see there on table 4 is Jimmy Croxton, and then just in the foreground in table 5, Ronan McCarthy, where he's in action against Phil Harrison. Jimmy Croxton playing Chris Melling in the background and just made a clearance. So the scores in those games, we're going to be looking at Jimmy Croxton, I think, is now 5-3 down, and in the foreground Phil Harrison's 4-1 down against Ronan McCarthy. What a career Ronan McCarthy's had, and what a player. Again, he's another one of those players that when you ask who's going to win the event, no one ever mentions Ronan. But he's been at the business end at more of these events than just about anybody else. Last year, I think he made like pretty much every quarterfinal. It was crazy. miss. And a miss you wouldn't really expect to see. This is still an open table, but no reds available. I think now, given the choice, you would take reds, but he doesn't have that luxury. And even this yellow, it looks like you just got to bend it a little bit. No, you can just get through. He's putting a touch of side on it, so maybe. Obviously, he couldn't get through to the potting angle, so he's tried to leave it safe. He has left the plant to middle. I think he was trying to get the cue ball in behind the red. And the plant looks fairly dead set. Yeah, a bit of a misjudgment there from Chris, I think. Trying to hide the cue ball and left a fairly easy opener. Now, issue here is obviously the red on the right-hand rail. How'd you get on it? And then, where does the black go? Because the black is surrounded by a cluster. I think naturally you'd want to take the top 4 reds, but you can't possibly leave the red at the bottom of the table till last. So this is going to require a lot of thought. And because of that, Jake's used his extension. It's funny, noticeably there, he called his extension and then still played the shot within 45 seconds. He had 47 seconds left on the clock when he took the shot. So, but maybe a wasted extension there. I wonder if that will be a factor. Maybe a factor in the latter stages of the frame if he's hurried into one. But as I say, yeah, noticeably took his extension and then didn't use it. This could open everything up. What a great shot. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well spotted and well executed. Decent clearance in the end there. And yeah, it looked like that wasn't possible at one point, but in one shot he opened up the entire table and he takes the frame and looks back at all square, 3 apiece. Nothing between the two players.
7th frame. Chris Totten to break 3 frames all. Time running. Balls in play.
Some miss there from the Australian. Don't expect those. And it's given the young 21-year-old Scotsman another chance. 3 frames each, nothing in this one. Wow, this is from both players now. Wow, that's right in no man's land. I don't know if Was he trying to come across and hold for the one at the rail because he felt that he couldn't get back on it? Sharp intake of breath. Cued it nicely, but still a bit of work to do. He's got a nice angle to pop this one to the top left and just drop back down for the red up the rail into the top right. But then has to get on the black, so not an absolute gimme. Needs to play this one well, and it's basically the key. He's played it very nice pace. A bit straight. Would have dearly liked an angle so he could just stun back out into mid-table and take the black to bottom right. But now I think he's going to have to screw back down the table and take the black to left centre. Again, cued it well, played it very nicely, and left this simple black.
Frame. Frame, Jake McCartney to break, leading, 4 frames to 3. Try running.
Balls dropping everywhere. 2 yellows and a red. No opener on the yellows. So again, he's going to be forced into going reds, which does cause a bit of a problem with this little cluster at the bottom of the table again.
Extension call.
Giving this a lot of thought, just planning the exact route he wants to take. There's a couple of times we've seen that shot, a couple of times where the players tried to reverse it back off the side rail and just get the cue ball to bounce down table. It just skids. It doesn't take the reverse side, but it's come out fine. He's got the choice of the one to the middle, or he can take the one to top corner. Just whichever he feels is better positioned to get down table. So it becomes about these 2 shots, and I think he's going to have to go into them. I don't think either goes to. Oh, I don't think they go to any pocket, to be honest. So I think he's looking at an angle that he can nudge into them. Now, ideally, if he can just leave himself a nice angle to the left, he can nudge into the top ball. Then he would leave himself on probably both balls. Just needs to leave the right angle. Distance, not an issue. It was all about the angle there. No point trying to get any closer. So there you go. He's looking now at. Again, we're looking at moving the rack, but I think it's unnecessary. All he needs to do is just play this shot, nudge into the top red. He's going to open up everything, and the balls would then be off the rack. It's not going to affect the shot in any way, but personal choice. Someone like Chris Melling would just leave it. So while we're doing that, we'll have a look at the scores in the other games. Just in the foreground there, and on the table, Ronan McCarthy's now 5-2 up against Phil Harris, and you can see Phil's in the middle of a clearance. Looks like it's going to be 5-3. Chris Melling's at the table on table 4. John McAllister racking the balls over on table 3 in the red shirt. So John McAllister is doing a hatchet job on Jordan Shepherd. He's 9-1 up. So Sheppy has definitely boxed himself this morning. Chris Melling 7-5 up against Jimmy Croxton and at the table on a clearance. In the distance there in the grey shirt, you can see Greg Batten. Greg Batten's playing Jack Whelan up on table number 1, and Greg is 5-4 up. Liam Dunster's 5-1 up against Carl Boys. No Raybone, 3 each against Ben Flack, and there you go. He's played that developing shot, but didn't make the contact as he wanted, and well, I'm not sure what benefit it would be being a touching ball. I guess it does help actually, because he could play away. He can play to side rail and then put the cue ball in behind the yellow closest to us. I think that's probably the shot. Johan Attard is 9-1 up against current England international. That's very close to being a foul. 9-1 up against Rob Warne. 9-1 against Rob Warne. That's quite unbelievable. Greg Batten now 6-4 against Jack Whelan. We said that Greg Batten had a really, really tough draw before the event, but he is the kind of player that he just revels in those situations. And I think he's got a good record against Jack Whelan as well. Yeah, I think between them they've had quite a few final frame deciders. But, too clear at the moment. See Manuel just there in the background with the beard and the grey shirt, just watching on. Let's say Michael Howard used to work at the club, lives locally, loves the game. Saw he was recently up at the Bapto event. Took a chance there. Took a chance. And I think he's going to be punished. I'm not sure he can get past this red for the yellow in the middle. I understand why he did what he did, but I just think it was wholly unnecessary. The black doubled. So in trying to get it out, you were leaving it in the lap of the gods where you landed on the yellow or not. Do you know, he might just be okay. I think he is. He just had to turn the ball over. But yeah, as I say, you're leaving it in the lap of the gods when you try and move that black. I think you were just better off leaving it where it was and play a double. As it happens, he's probably going to end up playing a double anyway, so he's just clipped it in the middle. It wasn't quite as thin as I thought it was. Anyway, it's a decent clearance, and it's back at level pegging, 4 apiece, nothing between the players.
Chris Totten to break, 4 frames all.
John McAllister on the hill now against Jordan Shepherd. Oof. Look at that cue ball. Hanging precariously. So having made the plant to middle, you've got to think he's going to clear these. He's a decent cueist. There's nothing here that presents any real dangers. It's just about the right pattern. Nice clearance, they were all there, but as I say, shouldn't have ever posed a problem, but you still got to get him, and get him he does. He's now 5-4 ahead.
10th frame, Jake McCartney to break, trailing 5 frames to 4. Time running. Time out, please. Touching ball. Extension call. Yellow ball's in play.
So just a quick look at the scores. Liam Dunster now 6-1 up against Carl Boys. Greg Batten 6-5 against Jack Whelan. Ben Flack 4-3 against Neil Raybone. Chris Melling 9-6 against Jimmy Croxton. Ryan Clark 5-3 against Mark Boyle. Johan Attard 10-3 up against Rob Warren. Prepare for the impending Facebook status. Adam Davis 5-3 up against Sean Story. Chris Totten, well, we're watching that one. Gareth Hibbert 8-7 against Craig Waddingham. John McAllister 10-3 against Jordan Shepherd. Dylan Leary 4-3 against Jez Graham. Ronan McCarthy 6-3 against Phil Harrison. Sean Chipperfield is currently 8-5 up against Callum Singleton. And Tom Cousins has already beaten Mark Asprey 11-3. Clint Hansen is 7-2 against Brian Halcrow. That's us up to date with all of the winners round 2 matches. 16 games, well, I say 16 games currently in action, 14 games now because 2 have already been completed. Popping into the commentary box, Adam Penwell.
Mr. Finn, how you doing, buddy?
I'm very good, thanks.
Good man.
Enjoying this game. It's Jake, obviously we know. Chris, a bit of an unknown quantity to us, but showing that his result against Declan Brennan yesterday wasn't a fluke. He's currently 5-4 up against Jake McCartney. Jake played a audacious developing shot just a couple of minutes ago, but didn't quite come out for him.
Yeah, I watched a bit of it earlier. I seen the double that Jake played on the yellow earlier, which flicked off the red and went into the corner. And being the expert commentator that you are, I'm surprised you didn't see that shot, to be honest. You said he hasn't got a shot, and I was looking at it thinking he's got a double here up to the top. But yeah, this is the first time I've seen Chris, but obviously off the snooker tour, but he looks a good stick, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look good. Looking forward to my 4 o'clock session with the face of 8-ball pool.
Yep,
It's only the
playing him again.
only the third time in a row that I've had to play him in round 2. Fantastic. But I seen him earlier. He didn't look very happy. I think he was a bit annoyed losing last night.
He was very annoyed at losing last night, yeah.
I didn't see any of the game because obviously I was playing myself, but he didn't look very happy. I think if I beat him, he'll be jumping off a bridge. He'll be finished.
Is the bookie offering a price on that?
So I think Jed was about 4-1, but obviously minimum doubles.
Yeah.
So I've had a sneaky little 8-1 with Terry Rogers. So I like donating money to people. So, but yesterday wasn't too bad. I had a couple of winning bets yesterday, so yesterday was all right.
I can't get near it, to be honest. I mean, I've only had a couple of small accumulators. But I think the one I did yesterday, I was only let one down by one leg, and yeah, I think Josh Kane won, didn't he?
No, Josh Kane lost to Brian Helker last night.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, well, I was let down by 2 legs
I
then.
think he lost 11-9, got it was 10-9 down, kicked in off the break, and then buzzer.
It was 11-9, yeah.
I think buzzer cleared up in about 25 minutes. On
Callum Singleton, of course, Harji.
oh, did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see the ball he missed?
Somehow, Harji was going about the clearance. He had 1 yellow and the black left on the table. The yellow was basically
A dolly.
it was a straight ball to corner bag, and somehow he missed
Missed it.
I have no idea how. And Callum stepped in and won that one. So Harji would have been. I don't think he would have slept well last night.
No, yeah. I think that's him on the left, isn't it?
That is him on the
That's
left.
Harji on the
Talking
left.
about Harji, there he is watching. Sat just over on the left-hand side in Chris Totten's corner. That's the man we were mentioning, up from the Bristol area.
So 5 frames a piece. Looks dry.
It is dry. He clattered them pretty well as well.
Oh well, we got
There
that
you
one wrong. The button pushing expert, Paul, has told us that's not Harji on the left. That's someone totally different. So, cheers for that, mate.
That's one of the Moroccans. Look like Harji from here, but you know, I wear glasses. I've got no excuse. Can't see anything.
Well, and everyone's seen me play pool, so I don't need to say that I can't see nothing. That's been shown. Are we on YouTube, or is it YouTube and Facebook, or what?
Just YouTube.
Just YouTube.
Oh. I wear glasses. I've got no excuse. Can't see anything.
Yeah, blame me. Blame me, mate. It wasn't me. It was Nick. It was the jacket. That's what always happens every time I come in the commentary box. It only takes 5 minutes to get told off. Mr. Totten is going to kick my butt. Sorry, George. Let's have a look. So, Nick, Josh McCartney's asking who's next on stream, mate. Do you know? Any ideas?
No.
No. There you go, Josh. Plain and simple for you, mate. Nick.
It's a simple answer.
Nick, the jacket, has not got a clue.
Rob Warren's been beaten 11-4. John McAllister has beaten Jordan Shepherd 11-3. I don't think the next round TV table's been chosen yet because they haven't been allocated. So, where's my guess? If I was choosing one of those games, it would be. I reckon I'd go for Luke Gilbert against Josh Kane, because Luke has been playing pretty well so far.
Yeah, he was unlucky last night. He was playing Clint Hansen on the table
Yeah.
on the table next to the to my game with Jez Graham, and he looked in really good shape, to be honest. He looked...
It was a close game. He lost 11-9.
yeah, he should have won as well. From what I saw, he was he let it slip a little bit.
Come out this morning and...
good young player there. I watched him earlier. He's like, yeah, really good.
Yeah.
He's an under-23 world champion, I think.
Yeah, beating the young Jared Tabbit 8-1 this morning. So, yeah, it'd be interested to see him play. And he's playing Josh Kane. So, yeah, that'd be a good game to watch. Darren McVicker against Jason Ellis. Always a pleasure to watch Darren play. If you go for the foreign flavour, they may well choose that one actually. Mounchid Omar against Leiden de Bono, the Moroccan against the Malteser for the foreign flavour. Just to make sure that we.
But as usual, the best way to find out if you're not sure is Nick Finn always updates the live games on his Facebook. So if you're not friends with him, add him as a friend, and he'll always help you out. Because he's a legend. So how many more games on stream today, Nick?
Well,
two more or three more?
We'll go right to the end. So losers 2, losers 3's at 5:30, and then winners qualification 7 o'clock, and losers qualification at 9 o'clock. So we're going to be in a chair till about 11 p.m. tonight.
Fair few left today then.
Yeah.
Is it still 3 other tables on stream as well? Correct.
Yeah. What a shot!
Nice shot, that.
It's,
might struggle to get on the black though.
yeah, I was just thinking that myself. How do you get on the black from here? That yellow.
I'm not even sure he's going to have a shot on the black.
No.
I mean, can he screw the red into the middle and just try and nudge the black off the cushion to leave himself a double to the middle? I'm not even sure he's got the angle.
No, I don't think he has.
Can he double the red to the middle bag now? Come back to the side and cut the black into the corner?
I didn't think it doubled actually, but looking at that angle, it clearly does. So it's going to have to be the double.
Close.
That was going. If I hadn't flicked the yellow, it was going to go. So another chance for Jake McCartney.
Yeah, really good chance here to jump back into the lead, and you'd expect Jake to take these. Any feedback on the table from the players, mate?
Yeah, I think generally it's playing well. I mean, Scott Gillespie said he loves playing on this table. He thinks it gives him a bit of an advantage because he's played on it a number of times and he enjoys it, and he thinks he's adapted quite well. Whereas in his match against Craig Marsh, he just said he didn't particularly enjoy playing on it because it just plays so much differently. But you think Craig would be much more experienced in playing on TV tables. He's always on the big screen, so he missed 7 balls in 15 frames, and you're not going to beat anybody in this room when you play that way. And they were all key balls as well. So,
wow, that's a surprise.
That is a surprise.
That's a surprise.
Felt that he wasn't forced to take that double. He could have tried to move that. There were a couple of balls. The one that is just to the left of the cue ball now, he could have probably used that one to try and move it. This will take a bit of cueing mind.
Yeah, is he natural angle to come down and land on the black to the right corner?
Yeah. Yeah, I think
Just to make sure he misses the knuckles of the middle pocket.
Wow.
Oh, he's played it in a strange way. Maybe he thought that he couldn't miss the yellow. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe.
So all he's got here, mate, is a double to the top.
I can't think he played anything but the double, did he? I mean, he hasn't even tried to get down onto it, so he must be backing himself.
There's your double. Oh, look at that.
God.
What a shot.
I mean, when you can pull them out the bag, and
doesn't matter where you leave it, does it?
it really doesn't. Look at this.
Here it is again, look.
It was never missing. Never missing.
I think that'll hurt Jake a bit, that one, because like you said, he didn't need to go for the double there, so he's left him a chance that he never should have been leaving him that chance from there.
Yeah, how confident was the young man there leaving himself that double? I mean, he's clearly not trying to get anywhere near getting down the table to get on it, so he's definitely left himself that double. No fear whatsoever. Gaz Hibbert on the hill there noticeably against Craig Wardingham. 10 frames to 8. Chris Melling.
Ben Flack, look.
Yeah, Ben was... one of the bookmakers had Ben priced at 7-2 against Neil Raybone.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, I just... Well,
Very generous.
I don't know how you can price 7-2 against anybody. I don't think Ben's 7-2 against anyone in the world, is he?
Not 7-2, no. Maybe he's basing it on, obviously Neil's in great form. Got to the final of the last event.
Neil's definitely favourite for that game. I mean, he's in his home venue. He's a finalist from the last event. He's definitely, but Neil's
7-2 is very generous.
A current England international, and yeah, it's a big price. Good opener, and now he can take the yellow to left centre. Well, I'd be shocked if he doesn't take it now.
It must go to the right centre.
Yeah, must do.
Must go to the right centre.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have left it otherwise. But I'm not going to say he gets these because I said that a minute ago and yeah, that didn't happen.
As I say, I was basing it on the fact I didn't think it went to right centre, but it clearly must because he was on it to left. And about as good as he could have been, to be fair. He's going to use that ball to... that'll be his next ball after potting this one to left corner. He'll use that one to go up the table. Again, just taking his time, mapping things out in his mind, just so he's got a clear picture of how he wants to take the balls out.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be able to... The reason he's taking his time is because he wanted to have a little bit of angle on that yellow to the middle, which he's not going to have. He's going to be slight. I think he's going to be fairly straight on the yellow to the middle, even if he bumps the red.
I mean, there's an argument he could take it now, the one to middle, and then move up table and just... I mean, this one to bottom left is unmissable. But,
so that's what he's looking at. He can't leave himself the angle that he wanted. So he's got two options. He rolls it in and cues from where he was just doing, or he could just stun into the red. See which way he plays it.
It becomes a little bit more awkward now, doesn't it? Because he's restricted on what he can do with the cue ball.
He'd have almost been better going a little bit higher.
Yeah.
To then sort of flick it round the angles.
Yeah.
But
now he's got the natural angle. I think he's running into the red, so he's probably just... He can obviously stun below, but that made it missable. As soon as you were powering the shot, it made it missable. Which is why, I mean, as I say, sometimes you've got to take your medicine and say, okay, I've run out of position slightly. I think he could have adjusted. I think he could have taken the one over the middle, the one over the right middle as his next ball. I know he didn't want to come back down table because then you're not connected, but these players are good enough, and the ball to bottom left was missable. Okay, the red's in its path, but you can negotiate that.
I think he had two options there. It was either go a little bit higher and then swing it round off the angles without having to force it, or he just stunned into the red. Therefore, you'd have a straight yellow, and then your options then is just screw it back 2 inches, leave yourself an angle on the yellow on the cushion to the top right, and then you still finish the table. But he didn't go far enough. Then he's tried to force it round.
Yeah.
And as generous as these bags are, if you try and force it too hard into a middle bag, it won't go. That's a poor shot. That's a poor shot. They're generous, but they're not that generous.
Couple of misses coming in now. Didn't expect to see that one.
Not sure what angle he's got on this yellow to the middle. 'Cause it doesn't look like he's considering it. Should be able to choices, screw it back or
He's
top
gonna,
it through.
he's going to punch it, and I was just about to say, those are the ones, if they're ever going to pop out, it's those, isn't it, when you punch them. So I think he's forced to take the one by the cushion now, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, the ball nearest the pocket, and then
Yeah.
he'll just float himself over to the one near the top rail. Should just be able to almost drag this in, and it'll just float over. There you go, good shot. As long as he's not dead straight.
I think he's okay if he is. He can just run around, and I think he can just enough angle there to force it round and take the yellow to left centre.
He's going to force it and take it to the top right.
Yeah, he's going to punch it. It's fine. He had options either way.
So that'll take it to 6 frames apiece. Race to 11.
So Liam Dunster is 7-2 up against Carl Boys, and Liam still a formidable opponent in this event. And who's to say that he won't win 2 grand finals in a row? That would be some achievement. Greg Batten's still got the advantage over Jack Whelan, 8 frames to 6. Let's hope for Greg's sake it doesn't go to Hill because he's had a few.
Yeah, he doesn't like Hill.
No, not against Jack. Ben Flack still beating Neil Raybone, but Neil's pulled one back. Chris Melling's still got the edge over Jimmy Croxton.
Oh, and you've got a decider down there, like Gareth Hibbert and Craig Wallingham.
Yeah.
10 frames apiece, so they're into a decider.
Interesting. So I think it was 10-8 up in this. It's now 10 each, and yeah,
I've just been informed it was 7-1.
he was 7-1 up. Was
So
he?
Gareth was 7-1 up,
Wow.
10-8 up, and now he's in the decider.
Wow. What table's that
Table
on?
15, mate, table
so
15.
That's right at the back of the room, so we can't even
Come on, Gaz, you're on my betting slip.
we can't even get a little look at who's at the table. So cue ball.
Where's the white?
Oh,
No,
he's
he's
okay.
right.
He's okay. But yeah, I mean,
Which one's table 15?
table
I think it was
15 is
table
right
15.
over the
No,
back.
it's
isn't
not, is it? Table 15 is behind, it's almost behind the stream table in the glass, through the glass window,
it? Yeah,
just to the left.
yeah.
It's
But,
that next one.
I mean, you can't. There's no camera angle you can pick it up on. I don't think so. We can't even look across and see who's at the table.
Shall I go and have a look?
Yeah,
Put me
you
on
go and
mute.
have a
Put me
look.
on mute.
10 frames each, and a decider. And he's had a lot of deciders recently. Does that come out? Nope, that's no good. No good.
So the update from the Hill game between Gareth Hibbert and Craig Waddingham is Gareth is in the chair, Waddingham is at the table, 4 yellows and the black to go. 1 yellow is slightly tricky, but that could be the end unless there's a mistake.
Never know. With a bit of pressure on.
You never know. There you go, you can just see the table there in the far distance. Yeah, good shot.
Nice.
Obviously a legal shot.
So, the yellow just below the black, it does pass into both left corner, right corner.
It goes in both middles as well if he needs it.
I'm going to assume that he's going to leave that until his last ball. Almost certainly will, unless he desperately runs out of position. Well, that's betwixt and between. That's what I say.
That's not what
Unless he
played.
runs drastically out of position, because he may have to play it next.
I think he played to land on that yellow to the middle.
Yeah, oh yeah, for
Massively.
certain,
He certainly
for
didn't play to land on it to the top corner.
But I mean, it's just a bit of a mess now, isn't it? And
So we're going to have this sharp correct removed, which will give him a little bit more time.
as I say, usually you would be using that one as his last ball. You see Ronan there in the chair, Phil Harrison at the table. Deck Brennan just sat behind Ronan.
So if you look at the very far left of your picture, you'll just see left-handed Craig Waddingham at the table. Gareth has just come to the table, so Waddingham has made a mistake. And Gareth is at the table. You can just see it on the far left in the black and the red top.
The black and red top.
So Gareth is at the table. The reds look quite nice when I look through the window. What a great picture that is, isn't it? What a great camera angle of the room.
Yeah, it really is. You see Jimmy Croxton on table 4. So Jimmy is currently just trailing Chris Melling by 1 frame now. He's never been ahead in that game, but he's at the table now with a chance to draw level. This has been a real ding-dong battle between Phil Harrison and Ronan McCarthy, but Phil still 2 frames behind, and he's got a really tough clearance here. But you wouldn't put him past it to make it.
Yeah, typical Phil. He'll shake his head on every shot and probably still make them. So, back to where we were. Obviously Jake's run out of position a little bit, so he's got to make a decision here which way he's going to go. He needs to cue this one well, cueing it literally off the cushion.
That could go wrong. It hasn't. It's gone
That's glorious.
very well, actually.
Glorious.
That could have easily gone wrong.
Nudges like a fruit machine there.
He was
Jackpot.
I think he was just trusting a little bit of luck there, and it's come out in his favour. Just run around 2 cushions, back into open play, and fairly simple now. Just drop this yellow in, and well, he's got an option, and he can just stun down and take the black in the bottom right, or he can come across table and play it in the bottom left. It's really just a question of personal taste.
Bottom right, I would think.
Yeah, almost certainly. So Gaz Hibbert won the decider, and he beats Craig Waddingham 11 frames to 10. And how fine are those margins? Really, really fine margins in these games. Craig Waddingham has clearly just made one error in that deciding frame, maybe that tough ball that Adam mentioned he had left. And
well, there you go. It just goes to show at these big events, 4 yellows and a black, which look fairly routine. Nothing's ever guaranteed, isn't it, Nick? Especially in a hill decider.
yeah.
14th frame, Jake McCartney to break, leading 7 frames to 6. Time running.
So McCartney now leads 7 frames to 6. Ran out of position in that last frame, but obviously he had those 2 jackpot nudges, which left him absolutely plumbed, didn't it?
Again here, could make a case for either ball, favouring the reds. Probably rightly so. It's just about the plant now. Just offset, easily makeable. I suppose the only thing would be is where the top red's going to go. I think he's going to want to land on that plant sooner rather than later. He's not going to want to leave it until the end. I think ideally you'd play it as your next shot, basically after this one. Not the next shot, but the one after. Again, he's just a little bit sort of in between positions. He's not quite on the one to middle. He's just got the wrong angle. He's got the one to top left if he wants it, but again, just the wrong angle.
He's also got to be a bit careful with that plant, because that red that he's queuing at now.
Yeah, it's going to go towards the
that
black.
looks like it's going to go to. If that goes towards the black and then freezes onto the yellow,
yeah,
he's going to struggle to have a shot. So
I mentioned that's the only real consideration that
it might be a shot that he's got to play. He might have to play that quite hard to try and force it away.
Yeah. But as I say, you don't want to be leaving that as your last shot. He has to play it after this shot. He doesn't want to go middle, and then just leave that, because then all your eggs in one basket. And if that red does go safe, you've got no other option to try and get it back out again.
The only way I can see it is if, and I can't quite see the angle of the plant, but is if he plays the plant soft, so that red still goes to the right corner. So you could see him play this quite soft.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So the red doesn't move too far away, but it's quite hard to see the exact angle of that plant.
I think looking at it from the pocket a second ago, I think he can play it soft. I think he can just hold it for the... Yeah, it's only just off.
I don't know, mate. He's going to have to play it well to leave this red available still, I think.
As you say, it's one of them. If he feels he can't hold it, then he's going to have to hit it some serious pace just to try and make sure he gets it out. And there we see.
So whilst the ball is being cleaned again, you'll get to see the rest of the room.
Yeah, we see Phil.
There's your scores.
Still at the table in the foreground. He's still 2 behind. That's the same frame. So.
Ben Flack now leads Neil Raybone 7 frames to 4. The 7-2 shot. Greg still ahead by 2 against Jack Wheeler, 9-7 ahead.
So basically, table 1 that Greg Batten's on is at the very top right of your screen. That's the first table that you can see. The next table down is obviously then table 2. The 2 stream tables, table 3 and table 4. Chris Manning's at the table 4. The one in the foreground is table 5. Wow. Wow, I thought...
I'll tell you what, if he'd have smashed that, that'd have gone in.
Yeah. I thought when I saw Phil at the table earlier, I thought he had a great chance in that frame, but obviously he's gone awry at some point.
Was that not the one that we looked at, though, and said it was a really tough finish?
Yeah, Jake McCartney's got... he's not got an extension.
There you go, see, so he's played it hard to try and make sure he forces the red out.
Yeah.
But obviously taking his eye off the pot a little bit.
Yeah. It's cost him the pot, and even if he'd have made it, he was in no man's land.
Yeah, he'd have been in trouble.
He had no pot.
That's one of those where you're so determined to make sure that red comes out into open play, you just take your eyes off the pot.
Yeah.
So,
and lost the cue ball. So Chris...
Yeah, it should be good enough.
He just keeps fighting back, doesn't he? Just keeps getting that...
Well, he kept going 1 ahead, and now all of a sudden Jake gets 1 ahead.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good chance.
Greg Batten now 10-7 up against Jack Whelan.
So he only needs 1 more.
What a great chance for him.
Can the bat do it?
And he will probably play Liam Dunster in winners qualification later this evening, because he's currently 9-3 up against Carl Boys. That'll be a grind, won't it? He's played Liam before in this event. And from what I remember, they had a real
ding dong, wasn't it?
real ding dong battle. It was close, wasn't it? It was late night on a Saturday evening, if I remember.
I think Greg had chances to win the game as well. I think.
Didn't it go? It was 10-9 or something. 11-9 it finished.
yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Greg had I think Greg was extremely disappointed because he had really good chances to win that game from memory.
Yeah,
So it'd be,
decent chance in the last frame, I think,
He'll be
to
after
go
a bit
to
of
go
revenge.
heel.
If he can just get one more frame,
Yeah,
and then he'll be after his revenge.
he's that kind of player, isn't he? He's gritty and determined. Anyway, we're at 7 frames each, nothing between them.
So there's back to your other room. Ronan at the table, about to put another frame on the board.
Greg's at the table,
Top right of your screen is the table that Greg Batten's playing on. He just needs that one more frame now. And Greg's at the table.
He's at the table.
You can see him now in his deck chair styled shirt.
He's on a clearance, and looking at the way he went about that shot, then he took no time over it. It looked like it was that was a drop in, I reckon. Think I've just seen somebody pick up their cue case. I reckon he had a drop in black in the middle, because unlike Greg, just to get down and fire
It
one
was
in.
quick for him, wasn't it? So I reckon that's finished.
Oh, I
that
don't know what
match.
happened. No,
Is someone queuing? Oh no.
Oh.
That's someone walking past, I think.
I reckon it is over.
Yeah, I reckon that's over. I reckon Greg Batten
I reckon he's won that.
is victorious.
11-7. There's no one coming back to the table. No balls moving, so.
So Neil Rayburn there at the table on table 2 in his blue and black shirt,
Yep.
trying to reduce his arrears. He trails Ben Flack.
Again, a good showing from the West Country. Ben Flack from the Bristol area. Greg from down around.
That's Greg Axbridge.
No, he's
Oh, it's
Tiverton.
Tiverton,
Couldn't remember the name of it.
yeah,
He's in.
that's because it's
He's
a
in
hole.
Paul Moulding territory.
That's because it's a hole.
Up there in Batten Towers.
In Batten Towers.
Yeah. Batten Manor. He's up there on the hill in his manor, and he's just looking down on the peasants, like Paul.
Looking down at Paul in his slum.
Batten Towers. He invited us over there one day, and we got to stay in the East Wing.
Lovely, mate. Lovely.
Yeah. And then we went out for a walk in the nicely tended gardens.
Do you mean the meadow?
Yeah. Well, he's got 16 gardeners to keep the place going, like, you know.
He told me that Paul cleans his windows for him.
Anyway, enough nonsense.
Yeah, 7 frames apiece, and
All to
wouldn't
play
surprise
for.
me if this one goes to a decider as well, mate, because it's been literally nip and tuck the whole way
Yeah.
through.
What a horrible clearance he's got here. I will be very impressed if he gets these.
Is he going to try and move the other 2 now?
Has
Surely
to.
he's got to.
Has to. Oh dear.
That's turned out ugly. And I don't think he's got any form of a shot at all.
There we go. That Greg Batten game has just flicked over. That was him dropping in the black, and he wins 11 frames to 7. And that's a really good
Great
sculpt
result.
for him.
Yeah, well done, Greg.
And let me tell you now that Mr. Greg Batten, with one particular bookmaker.
Oh, he hasn't made a cushion. That's a foul.
That's a foul, yeah.
That is a foul. So obviously Supreme Rules, ball in hand, one visit, anywhere on the table.
Yeah, Mr. Greg Batten was 50 to 1, no less. 50-0 to 1 to win this event. I mean, I think
It's worth a pound each way, isn't it?
it was reflective of his draw, you know, given the fact that he was going
probably
to have
previous
Wheeling and then
results as
Dunster
well.
and so on and so forth. So, you know, I understand somebody has to be 50 to 1, but I wouldn't have laid it, personally.
Yeah, if there's an update, you won't be 50 to 1 now.
Yeah, where's my cash out voucher?
Cash out.
So, Jimmy Croxton on the hill against Chris Melling. So,
Oh.
Jimmy from being 9-7
Yeah.
down.
He's on my bet slip. He's on my accumulator.
He's won 3 in a row.
He was 5 to 4 to win that match.
Yeah, big price. There were some big prices.
There was some good
I'd
prices.
say
mate.
Flacky
Very good
7-2
prices.
was crazy. But it's now 7-5 in that game, incidentally. Neil Raybone did
So
win
he's
that
fighting
frame.
back then. He was at the table just now. He obviously made that finish.
Get this one. Ryan Clark is 8-4 up against Mark Boyle.
That was a big price as well. Boyle was 1 to 4
Yeah.
to win that match.
Adam Davis is 8-6 against Sean Story. I would imagine they were probably, I would imagine that was like 4 to 6 and even money, was it? 4 to 6
about that, I
Adam.
think about that.
We know Gaz Hibbett's already through. We know John McAllister's already through. Sean Chipperfield has done a job on Callum Singleton, 11 frames to 6. Jez Graham, 8-5 against Dylan Leary. He's
I think that was priced up level. Callum
Yeah.
and Chippy were 5-6, 5-6. So that was priced up as a level game.
Ronan McCarthy, 8-5 up against Phil Harrison.
So he's extended his lead by an extra frame then.
Clint Irons is on the hill against Buzzer, 10 frames to 3.
So he's still got a bit of work to do here because I'm guessing that red doesn't go to the bottom right.
Yeah, I don't fancy this clear. I don't know why. I don't fancy this clearance. It's one of those. It's almost like it needs a couple of worldies in it, doesn't it? You know, that was a great shot, brilliant
The
shot.
only
But
thing is now, from where he is now, he's pretty much. Do you take the ball on the pocket now?
I don't think you've got any choice, have you? I mean,
No, it's got to
you
be
can
the
take the
ball
one
on
to
the
top
pocket.
right, but what does that leave you?
Just needs to hit this as almost as thin as possible. Doesn't need to cannon the yellow.
I think he's battering it, mate.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that he was going to
Yeah, I
try
don't
and
think- I
he was
don't
going to
think
try
he-
and bludgeon his way out of
I
there.
don't
And
think he needed to. I think if he played that as thin as he could possibly hit it, the white would have just hit the top cushion and gone on up the table.
yeah,
And might have even cannoned the red next to the black, which would have been perfect.
as I say, I
Now he needs a really, really good shot now
Yeah.
because I'm not sure if that red goes to the bottom right. My eyesight is so poor, I haven't got a clue. The only red he's on is the red to the top right.
the red next to the black.
Do you think that goes in the bottom right?
Yeah.
If that goes in the bottom right, then he's still not bad. He's got to cue this one nicely. But if he cues this one in nicely and that goes to the bottom right, then he's not in bad shape. It must. I don't think that goes.
I don't reckon it goes to
I
bottom
don't think
left.
that goes.
I mean, like you were mentioning bottom right, and
I'll tell you what.
possibly.
If you were right behind it,
Yeah,
you could literally feather that in, I think. But
it's a tough shot.
it's not easy from where he is now. He's almost got to play this towards the jaw of the pocket, and hope the cloth just slides it in, which is what. Yeah. Oh my God! There you go.
How did that take?
I told you
Right to
towards
the
the jaw,
knuckle,
mind, and that was
yeah.
literally
Right to the knuckle.
right on the knuckle.
I mean, I'd already said no. I didn't think that was going.
I think his body language when he hit the shot, he didn't think it was going, did he?
No. This what can you say?
Big frame, that.
Hats off to
Big frame,
Jake there. I really didn't fancy him for that clearance, and that was top draw. That really was, and a precious situation. We're getting to the business end of the tournament, and you know there's very little in it now, and you know.
The new cloth literally sucked that ball in.
Yeah, it's still on serve, as they say. And that was a really, really big frame. Because had Chris gone 8-7 with the break, 9-7, it's a long way back. So Big shot. The Australian was up to it and is in the lead by a frame.
Right, mate, I'm going to leave you to it because I'm scheduled to play the Face of Pool in about 5 minutes.
Sure.
Not sure if we're on time or not, but I'm going to leave you to it, mate. So I will catch you later, and I'll come in and give you my victory speech when I've beaten him, all right? See you later, pal.
See you later.
You will now with your big Totten. Frames to 7. Time running. Yellow ball's in play.
These two successfully negotiate the path through the reds to the bottom cushion, which he does with ease. And now it's Jake that takes a 2-frame lead. So, advantage Jake McCartney.
17th frame. Chris Totten to break. Trading 9:57. Time money.
Another very, very big break coming up now. This one really key for Chris. Cannot afford to go dry, but he has. And, well, if Jake's got an opening, well, I don't know actually. Neither look particularly inviting, do they? If you look at yellows, you've not got an opener, or not got an easy opener, and you've got the yellow at the top of the table on the cushion. You can't play yellow onto red, otherwise it's lost a turn. And reds just look pretty ugly with that cluster at the bottom of the table. I think you have to go yellows here, and I think what you need to do is take the long one to bottom left as your opener. He's going to go reds, but it's this cluster down the bottom that I don't like. I think reds are the tougher set, obviously an easy opener. And the thing was about the yellow on at the top of the table that's out of commission, you had a couple of balls that you could have used to try and knock it out, or even to pot the red to clear the pocket. There's a couple of balls there. These reds are tough. I mean, even his next shot, all he's got is the one that's covering the bag. That's pretty decent. Now, he's across that side of the table. He's given himself a better shot. We'll see all those reds go to right corner, so the one next to the black will go to the middle. So if he can just drop this one in and hold with a decent angle, yeah, that's okay. Apologies for the little break. We just had a couple of people come into the commentary booth. Some miss. I mean, he's missing balls by quite a margin now. Whereas yesterday he wasn't really missing anything, and as I say, it's as a pro snooker player, or someone that was on the snooker tour, you don't expect to see him missing by that kind of margin. So he just needs to maybe, if he can win this frame, just go take a bathroom break and just reset, just recalibrate. That's often what it needs. Just give yourself a bit of air. Now then, this is a decent chance. And one that he needs to take. He needs to be at 9-8, 10-7 on the hill. It's too much. Great effort, very close. He's not left a lot. For sure, not left a lot. Not too many safe places on the table now either. If the yellow is just off of the cushion, then he can clip it in, but with hamper cueing, it's not nice. It looks like he's just going to play safe. Oh, he's cut it in. Has he? Oh, wow. So close to dropping. Some effort. But it looks like it's going to be 10-7.
Frame.
So Jake finds himself on the hill. As you just saw the score tick over on the board. Liam Dunster, wow, Carl's making a fight back there. He was 5-1 down, maybe 6-1, definitely 5-1. He's fighting back. Liam Dunster now 9-7. Another fight back there. Neil Rayburn was 7-4 down. And he's now 7-all. Ryan Clark is still beating Mark Ball though, 8-4. Sean Story's just ticked one up. There's a ding-dong battle with Adam Davis. Just one frame in that one now at 9-8. Jez Graham and Dylan Leary at 8-all. How well matched are these games? Phil Harrison's fighting back. He was 8-5 down. Now just one frame in that. Ronan McCarthy just edging it. Oh, Buzzer's fighting back. Buzzer was 10-3 down, and now it's 10-6. There's fight backs everywhere in the arena. And Luke Gilbert is playing Josh Kane, and he's won the first frame. Darren McVicker's won the first against Jason Ellis. And Ryan Pisani has won the first against Dom Cooney. So, some very close games and some big fight backs. Will there be a fight back in this game? Sorry, you just missed the break there. We were just away for a second. But I can tell you that, well, you can see for yourself. Jake broke. He's potted a red and 2 yellows, and also the cue ball. So, can there be a fight back here from young Chris? It's a nice opener. Just releasing the one bad ball. Again, it's one of them. It's really, really not a nice clearance. Again, just about controlling the cue ball. He did that nicely. He saw that well, didn't he? He's left this straight to top corner, which makes life much easier. Little screw shot to get rid of the other one at the bottom of the table, and then he can start working on the ones at the top of the table. Nice cueing. Maybe just a fraction straight. But it shouldn't matter. He just needs to leave himself. Yeah, ugly now. He's always going to have to try and punch across and leave himself this one up the rail. But now, this is a test of cueing. This is game ball. That'll drop. That'll drop. Played it at exactly the right pace to give it every chance. Oof. Surprised he didn't try and get a bit further down table. Maybe just caught the knuckle, which straightened the cue ball up. Another test of cueing, but you'd expect him to be up to it. Oh, nails it. Nails it, smashes it home. And, oh, there's one back. He's got the break in the next. Darren McVicker now 2-0 up against Jason Ellis. Adam Davis 9-8 against Sean Story. In fact, none of the other... I was just about to say, none of the other games have changed apart from the fact that Neil Raybone has just taken the lead against Ben Flack. So having been 7-4 behind, he's now 8-7 ahead.
Frame, Chris Totten to break, trailing 10 frames to 8. Time running.
That's the last couple of breaks that he's gone dry. And that's really not what he needed at this point. Had to make a ball there. That's decent. That works. I think he can take the top one of the three in the cluster and stun up past the yellow into the middle of the top cushion and have his choice of the two reds at the top. If he can land on the top cushion, then he can just play one to one pocket, one to the other, and then work the way back down. Well, maybe he was just fractionally straighter, actually. I thought he had a nice angle there to stun up. Can he do it from this one, or is he straight again? I think he's got an angle. Maybe he's not quite got the angle. Oh, you can see it's just off straight. Don't think he can get up there. So, as they say, all the eggs in one basket. Now you can play this to bottom corner and screw back into that gap. But he's going to have to get nice on these last two reds to make sure he leaves an angle to come back down table for the black. Should be a clearance from here, but could go wrong. See, that's not come far enough. He's going to have to use yellow now to hold the cue ball. It's a natural angle to drop down into the yellow. So again, it shouldn't be a problem. He needs to contact the yellow four ball, doesn't want to flick it and come further down table. It's okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. I can drop this red in, natural path. We'll take him past the yellow, across the bulk line, just past the yellow, anywhere kind of from like a foot below that yellow, anywhere to around about the middle bag. He decided to take the other route, touch a side on it to left side to come cushion side. And now this straight black to progress into winners qualification, and it's Jake McCartney, the Australian, who does the business again in the arena, and he beats the young Scotsman in Chris Totten, who will now go across to the loser's side. And it was a solid performance. I don't think either set the world alight, but it was a decent performance. I think both players will be happy. Well, certainly Jake will be happy, and Chris will take a lot of heart from what he's done so far in the event, and he's still got a chance in the loser section. So there we are, that's the action. We'll get Jake across into the commentary box for, into the interview room for a few words, and we'll speak to you shortly. Joined by Jake after a solid performance there, another solid performance in the arena.
Yeah, it felt a whole lot tougher. That was actually probably the toughest I felt out there on that arena. Out of all the series I've been in, and I probably only played it there half a dozen times max, that just felt really tough. I'm not sure why, but Yeah, I just a couple of rubs, and I found it really tough. I just tried to stick to my guns and take chances when I got them.
Coming into the game, I mean, Chris was a bit of an unknown quantity. Did you know much about him?
I'd never heard of him at all. And then Scotty Gillespie told me last night he come across with him, and he was a really good snooker player, not far off. Just missed out on the tour or something like that. And then I watched him play his first 7 frames last night against Declan and didn't miss a ball. And then it wasn't until that match was done. I went home and I seen he won. I looked at the draw and I thought this is the guy I'm playing tomorrow. But at the same time, you can't play your opponent. Like, I'm really big on not playing the name. At the end of the day, it's 7 balls and a black, and I try and keep it that simple. And if you get a chance, you just got to make the most of them, really.
Yeah. Through into winners' qualification. Now, I think you played Gareth Hibbett, if I'm not mistaken. Played him before?
Sure. No.
No?
Never.
So I'm not sure what to expect then?
No, but I'll go in with the same. Now, that's sort of my first match too under my belt here, because last night my opponent didn't turn up. So, but obviously one under the belt, I feel a little better now. But the same thing, I don't play the opponent. At the end of the day, it's 7 balls and a black, and we'll have another crack and we'll see what happens.
So, I mean, you've been flying across here for, 8, 9 events now, haven't you? I think you probably missed 1 or 2, but, still the excitement every time you come over?
I love it. I really do. Don't get me wrong, the travel, it's basically 24-hour flight, with the stopover. It is long, and when you get it, it does take a couple of days to acclimatise a little. The last 2 nights, I've been in bed basically, 9:30, 10 o'clock. I've woken up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Like just bright-eyed, wide awake, and next minute it's daylight, and I'm trying to get another couple of hours. So it is a little tricky, but at the end of the day, I love the Supreme Rules. I love the tables.
Yeah.
As I have said before, Australia, I really hope to get on board, sooner rather than later. I'd love to see the tables and the rules that, change, in Australia. And, mate, I love it, and any chance I get to travel, that I can, I'll take that opportunity. Obviously, too, there is a lot of people I need to thank back home, because this wouldn't be possible, without sponsors and, friends and family, and the support. So, I can't thank them enough, and I know I've got a lot of support back home, and the amount of messages I've got, mate, where's this poll to vote? We want to watch on the stream. And I don't have Facebook. I sort of haven't, so I've got a mate just said, listen, can you just post a link or just, and I know, before I was playing, I've got mates basically having parties, they're at home, they're drinking, they're watching, they're staying up, so...
I know that they were ever present in the chat box, and, it's either first thing in the morning or last thing at night. It's... What is it, about a 10-hour difference?
I think it's 11. So
11. What
time do we start? Basically 2. So it would have been prime 1 a.m. there. So there'd be just prime time for the boys back home.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm happy and I enjoy it. And
And you've got a travel companion this time.
I do. Steve Jamieson.
Expat?
He lives over here. I don't know where. He's got family over here. And obviously, Steve, there was obviously, the World Cup, the doubles, so weeks ago, Steve basically messaged me, and we got mates back home, and he said, yep, let's play. And it was a little harsh dump. Obviously, the event got cancelled, but he'd never sort of played in a Supreme. He's been in Australia for so many years now. And obviously, I've got one back at home, and, he had a couple of weeks practice on it when he could outside of working hours, and then he got over here in the cloth. It was finding it, a little tricky to handle the weight, but he's enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He's been really good too. Just support here as well. It's good just to have like a fellow companion here with me, and so
someone to trade stories with.
Yeah, correct. So it's been good.
So as I say, onwards to winners' qualification. Best of luck in that, and best of luck with the rest of the event. Hopefully we can see you.
Thanks, mate.
Go really deep this time.
Yeah,
Good luck, Jake.
hopefully. Thanks, mate.
Okay, so that was Jake, and he's going to continue on in the tournament, and good luck to him. We'll see you back in the main arena in about 10 minutes or so.